Happy New Year, hockey fans. How is everyone doing? I hope everyone's had a great New Year's. There's some good hockey on. It was a nice way to end the year with the best bet, the Rangers hitting, and also the parlay with Washington and New Jersey, both of those hitting. Just a great way to end the year. And hopefully we can continue that. Again, I hope everyone's had a nice, safe New Year celebration, and they're looking forward to a prosperous 2022. January 1st, 2022, there are 9 games currently on the schedule. I wouldn't be surprised if one possibly is postponed, but right now there are 9 games. One big one, obviously, that I'm sure a lot of people are looking forward to, the Winter Classic. So anyway, 9 games, let's go through them, make some picks, and try to start the year off the right way. First game, Buffalo against Boston. Boston 4-4-2 in their last 10, current 2-game losing streak. Linus Ullmark listed to be in net for the Bruins. Buffalo has Ukko-Pekka Luukkonen listed to be in net. They're 2-6-2 in their last 10, current 2-game losing streak. Boston back in action. Last game was December 16th when they played the New York Islanders and took a 3-1 loss. 6 games postponed. Now back in one of the most healthy squads. Bruce Cassidy now with the full options of 12 forwards. So he's switching some lines up, and we'll see how that works out for him. But obviously nice. I think it's the first time since the beginning of the season where he's been able to do that. Currently 5th in the Atlantic. Also the team that has played the least, 26 games. Bruins have the exact road and home record currently. Whether at home or on the road, they're 7-5-1. And I think it should be a good game for him back here going against Buffalo. It sits right behind Boston in the Atlantic. But the Sabres are 32 games in and 5 points behind the Bruins. The Sabres have already played a back-to-back. Wednesday a 4-3 loss to New Jersey and Thursday a 4-1 loss to the New York Islanders. Buffalo nowhere near full strength. I mean, I think they're going to have Inostroza back. I think they're going to have Jeff Skinner back, but missing a number of pieces, including, I believe, their head coach, Granato, who's still out with COVID protocol. Third game in this 4-game series between these teams. Boston has a 2-0 lead in the series. October 22nd, 4-1 victory, and November 24th, a 5-1 victory. I think it's a good goaltending matchup here. It's the first time that Luukkonen has seen Boston. I mean, it's going to be tough against a healthy Boston squad, that's for sure. Money line plus 265 or 3.65 for Buffalo, and Boston minus 330 or 1.3 over/under. Set it 5.5. I kind of like the over in this game. I think Boston could come out on fire, and Buffalo's in not that good a shape right now. I think there could be quite a few goals. I wouldn't be opposed to taking Boston on the puck line minus 1.5. I know on the money line it doesn't pay much, but I might parlay him with another one to make it worthwhile. I'll probably just play the money line on this game. Boston to win game 1. That is one of the matinee games. This one, another matinee game. There's also a lot of division matchup games. I mean, this one here, you got the Atlantic matchup between Buffalo and Boston. Another Atlantic matchup here when you take Montreal and Florida in game 2. Florida has Sergei Bobrovsky listed to be in net. They're 6-3-1 in their last 10, current 2-game winning streak. Montreal has Sam Montembeault listed to be in net. They're 1-7-2 in their last 10, current 1-game losing streak. Panthers, 2nd in the Atlantic. Last played the number 1 team in the division, Tampa, and had a dominating 9-3 win. That was on Thursday. Now 2-0 since back from the break. Wednesday, a 4-3 win over the New York Rangers. Duclair playing well with 3 goals and an assist in his last 2 games. Florida has the best home record in the division right now with 16-3-0. And they're playing a Montreal squad. The last place team in the division. Montreal, who are 0-2 since back. Last played Thursday against Carolina, where the Canadiens could not find the back of the net, ending in a 4-0 loss to the Hurricanes. This team has the longest list of players out for COVID and also injuries. I'm not even sure how they're managing. Their top scorer in the last 5 games only has 1 goal. So yeah, Montreal's had their share of bad luck, that's for sure. This does begin a 4-game series between these two teams. Bobrovsky's rested. He brings a 13-3-2 record into this match with a .917 save percentage. Montablanc, he's looking for his second win in regulation, and I don't think it's going to come playing against the Panthers, who sit second when it comes to goals for. Money line plus 325 or 4.25 for Montreal. Florida 1.23 or minus 425. Over under set at 6. This is what I'll probably parlay. I'll probably just do Florida and Boston together. And I'm pretty confident both those games are going to come through. Those are my first 2 picks for the 9 games. Game 3, a metropolitan matchup here. You got Carolina and Columbus playing each other. Columbus with Elvis Merzlikins listed to be in net. They're 3-6-1 in their last 10, current 1-game winning streak. Carolina has Antti Ranta listed to be in net. They're 7-3-0 in their last 10, current 3-game winning streak. The Blue Jackets, who sit 6th in the division, played last on Thursday against Nashville, and a nice win for Columbus, 4-3 in a shootout. Their first game back, Columbus was outshot and 0-3 on the power play, but they battled. They found the W. Boone Jenner had a good game with a goal and an assist. Patrick Laine with a goal, his first game back since November 3rd. But no easy task when you go against Carolina, the number 2 team in the division, who played their first game back on Thursday against Montreal when the Canes won 4-0. Sebastian Aho recording a couple assists now, 6 games where he's recorded multiple points. So he's playing really well. Antti Ranta recording his first shootout of the season in that last game. Goaltending has been a highlight, as the Canes currently are first when it comes to goals against. Also in penalty kill, they sit second. Money line minus 160, 1.62 for Carolina. Columbus plus 140 or 2.4. Over under set at 6. I like Columbus, the home dog here, to pull out a win. I think they've got the lineup working well right now. Merzlikins, he looked really good in that last game against Nashville. I like it here. I know Carolina's favorite, but I'm going with Columbus for the win. That's my 3rd pick. Next one, another matinee game, a central matchup. We got Chicago against Nashville. Nashville has Saros listed to be in net. They're 7-2-1 in their last 10 with an overtime decision. Chicago has Colin Delia listed to be in net. They're 4-4-2 with 2 overtime decisions as their streak. Nashville in the hunt with 40 points in the division, 1 point behind number 1 St. Louis. Last game on Thursday, a 4-3 shootout loss to Columbus. The Preds are in every game, and yet 0-2 since back in action after the break. The Preds had won 7 in a row prior to things coming to a halt there. So, definitely climbed in the standings, no question. Chicago playing their first game back since the break. Last game was December 18th when they lost 4-3 in overtime against Dallas. There's a chance I think we could see Marc-Andre Fleury. I think he's cleared now. I'd like to see him in net here. I know Delia is listed, but it's a good matchup, these teams, actually. Battles, in every game, for sure. There are 3 games that have required extra time. Chicago's last 3 games. Another team, just like Nashville, both these teams battle. 3rd game in a 4-game series that sits at 1 apiece right now between these teams. November 7th, it was a 2-1 Chicago overtime victory. December 17th, a 3-2 overtime Nashville victory. Again, a battle, both games. And another battle I think we'll see here. Both teams missing a couple pieces, but I think they're both quite healthy. Money line has Chicago as the dog, plus 150 or 2.5. Nashville favored, minus 170 or 1.58. Over under set at 5.5. I don't know who's confirmed to be in net. If Marc-Andre Fleury is in net, I do like the Hawks. I like the visiting dog here. I'm going to go Chicago with the contingency that Marc-Andre Fleury is in net. If he's not in net, then I will lean towards Nashville. I'll probably make that final decision in the morning. Although I don't know if I'll actually lay money on the game, but I do like Chicago. That's my official pick. Another matinee, I think the last matinee game, anyway. Yeah, I think so. Edmonton against the New York Islanders. The Islanders are 4-2-4 in their last 10. Current one-game winning streak. Sorokin listed to be in net for New York. Edmonton has Mikko Koskinen listed to be in net. They're 2-7-1 in their last 10 with an overtime decision as their streak. New York came back after the break on Thursday when they had Buffalo in town, and they won that game 4-1. Shots were 37-32 in favor of Buffalo. Both teams 1 for 2 on the power play. Barzal with 3 points, Bailey with a couple helpers, and a nice game for Varlamov, who stopped 36-37, a .973 save percentage. The Islanders are enjoying their new home arena, and I think they're going to look, obviously, every team's going to look to start the year with a win, but especially I think the Islanders. I mean, they know they got a tough sled ahead of them to climb out and make this still a good season for them, and I think they're a team that can do it. Playing Edmonton, who sits 4th in the Pacific. Oilers on a long road trip that began Wednesday, a 4-2 loss to St. Louis, and now they're in a back-to-back after playing New Year's Eve against New Jersey, a high-scoring affair. It was a 6-5 loss in overtime. McDavid, he was back on the scoreboard with a couple. Draisaitl with an assist. 2 games back for Smith now and 2 losses. I thought he looked, I don't know, tough argument. I don't think he looked that good. Edmonton has lost 8 of the last 10 games. Still first in the power play at 31.2%. They're definitely on a skid, right? I mean, there's no question. First time teams will meet. Their original meeting was one of the games that was postponed, so they'll have to make that up. Money line, the odds weren't out on this game yet on Bet365, and I didn't look it up on another site. I'll probably look at this in the morning as well. I am going to go with the Islanders, regardless of what the odds are. I like the Islanders at home. With Edmonton, they're going to have to turn that ship around before I look at betting on them again. I like the Islanders. That's my official pick. Next game, we got a Central Division matchup, 7 p.m. game. Winter Classic, outdoor game. It's going to be cold. I think minus 20 degrees Celsius or minus 4 Fahrenheit. It's going to be cold. It won't be cold for the skaters, although they won't be used to that kind of temperature, but it'll be good. It'll be really good. Minnesota 6-3-1 in their last 10, current 1-game losing streak. Cam Talbot listed to be in net against St. Louis, who are 6-2-2 in their last 10, current 1-game winning streak. Jordan Binnington listed to be in net for the Blues. Minnesota's first game back, the outdoor classic. And what a way to start the year. I mean, currently the Wild sit second in the Central, 1 point behind the Blues and 2 games in hand. A nice home record, 10-2-1 this season. Minnesota was on a 4-game losing streak before the break, so nice reset before this outdoor game. Reading about the extensions given to Dean Evanson and the coaching staff, I think that's just awesome for this Wild team. And I think as far as a coach goes, I think he deserves it. Just a humble guy and just a great coach, in my opinion. Both these teams, I'm a fan of both these teams. 2 of my favorite teams probably out there. St. Louis, I mean, who's been back on action. Wednesday, they faced Edmonton Oilers, and they doubled them up 4-2. Tarasenko with a goal and a couple assists in the game. 5 goals, 4 assists in his last 4 games. He's on a tear. The Winter Classic in 2017, Tarasenko scored to help the Blues win that game 4-1 over Chicago. Road record for the Blues hasn't been that good this year. 6-6-3, definitely a concern. This is a first meeting between these 2 teams this season. And the Wild, I mean, they're going to be without Spurgeon. They're going to be without Joel Eriksson-Ek. I think they could have Jonas Brodin back. I think Jordan Greenway could be back. The Blues, they're going to be without Robert Bortuzzo. They're going to be without Dakota Joshua, both with COVID. I think Braden Shen, I think, is going to be back in the lineup. I mean, he's going to want to play. I mean, a lot of memories for him. He scored his first NHL goal back in 2012 in the Winter Classic. Lines are pretty close on this game. Money line has St. Louis at plus 105 or 2.05. Minnesota minus 125 or 1.8. Over-under set at 5.5. I like Minnesota to win the game at home. Minnesota to win the Winter Classic. That's my pick. And it wasn't easy because, like I said, I'm a big fan of both those teams. Next game, we have Atlantic Division matchup. We have Ottawa against Toronto. I don't know if it is much of a matchup, although, again, this game, I think, is one of those games that's going to surprise people. Ottawa and Toronto. Toronto has Jack Campbell listed to be in net. They're 7-2-1 in their last 10. Current 2-game winning streak. Ottawa has Matt Murray listed to be back in net for the first time in a while. 5-4-1 in their last 10 with an overtime decision. Third place in the Atlantic, the Leafs will look to get back in action. Last played December 14th when they won 5-1 over Edmonton. Toronto with a strong plus 22 goal differential and a strong home record of a 12-4-1 this season. Leafs second in the power play, fourth in goals against. Strong situation for sure. And another team that's very, very healthy. They're going to be playing this game with no fans in the stands. That's something to, I don't know how the players, I think they definitely prefer playing in front of people. I think it's got to feel more like a practice when no one's there, but it is what it is in the world we live in. They're playing Ottawa, who also looks to get back in action. Last game, December 18th. They've had a couple games here just postponed. Yeah, but December 18th, a 4-3 overtime loss to Philadelphia. The Sens were playing some good hockey before that. I mean, their losses were 1-goal losses, and before that, an 8-2 victory over Florida, a 4-0 victory over Tampa. Just a streaky team. There's a few teams that play streaky hockey, and Ottawa is one of them, but they were looking pretty good before the break. Teams played each other twice already early in the season. October 15th, 3-2 for Ottawa. October 17th, 3-1 for Toronto. I think it's going to be the first time that Matt Murray has played, I think, since sometime in November. I didn't write it down, but I think he's going to be looking for his first win still this season. Moneyline has Ottawa at plus 220 or 3.2. Toronto 1.37 or minus 270. Over under set at 6.5, so they're expecting some goals here. I might look at Ottawa at a puck line plus 1.5. I kind of like it at that play. Ottawa plus 1.5. It pays 1.95 or minus 105. I think that's a nice bet. I might make that just as a single bet. I think I actually will make that as a single bet. I'm going to have to add that to my list. Yeah, I don't know why I didn't do that. I'll have to add that. I like Toronto to win the game, but I think it could be a tighter game than people think. Toronto to win, but I think I might lay a bet Ottawa puck line plus 1.5. That's how I'll play that game, I think. Next game, Pacific Division matchup. Number 8, we got Vancouver against Seattle. Seattle 2-5-3 in their last 10, current 1-game losing streak. Philip Grubauer listed to be in net for the Kraken. Vancouver, Thatcher Demko, they're 8-1-1. Current overtime decision is their streak. 8-1-1 is their last 10. Seattle, last place in the Pacific and 9 points behind the second last place team, which is Vancouver, actually. The Kraken, they played a couple games since the break, and they're 0-2. Wednesday, a 3-2 overtime loss to Philly, and Thursday, a 6-4 loss to Calgary. It was the first time Giordano has faced his old team. Seattle has lost 5 of their last 6. And Vancouver, then, you got to look at them. It seems like a different team since Coach Boudreau took over. I don't think they've lost in regulation since he has taken over. I don't think one loss in regulation since he's been behind the bench, which is pretty impressive. A couple tight games played since back from the break, a 2-1 overtime victory over Anaheim, and then a 2-1 loss to the LA Kings in a shootout, which was their last game. Vancouver moving up in all categories. I mean, you knew this team would turn it around, and they turned it around in a big way. And I think some of it is a coach, and some of it is the puck's just finding the back of the net. They tend to put the puck on the net lots. So interesting. This marks the second in a 4-game series. October 23rd, Vancouver won 4-2. It was Seattle's home debut. So the Kraken are going to have a little revenge in their game for sure. And it's one of their other games, I think, was one of the games that was postponed. But they've only played once, and that was a 4-2 victory for Vancouver. Money line, minus 115 or 1.86 for Vancouver, minus 105 or 1.95 for Seattle, over under set at 6. I like Vancouver to win this game against Seattle. That's my pick, Vancouver, the visiting favorite. Game 9, last one, we got Philadelphia against the LA Kings. LA is 6-3-1 in their last 10. Current one-game winning streak. Jonathan Quick has been confirmed to be in net for the Kings. Philly will have Martin Jones. I'm pretty confident in net. They're 5-3-2 in their last 10. Current overtime decision is their streak. As we just spoke about, LA had a nice 2-1 shootout win over Vancouver. Handed them their first loss, I think, in 8 games, or 7 or 8 games anyway. Kings outshot the Canucks 35-18. So it was also 0-for-1 on the power play, but they did keep Vancouver off the scoreboard when it was 5-on-5. Vancouver's lone goal was a power play goal. It was a good defensive showing by LA. I mean, again, Vancouver tends to put the puck on the net lots, and to hold them to 18 shots was pretty impressive. When Quick is in net, they always seem to have a chance in these games for sure. He brings a .923 save percentage and has recorded 2 shootouts so far this season. Philly has played a couple games since the break, both requiring extra time. Wednesday, a 3-2 overtime win over Seattle, and Thursday, a 3-2 overtime loss to San Jose. Currently 5th in the Metropolitan. With Carter Hart out in COVID protocol, that's why I'm pretty confident. I think we'll see Martin Jones in net. I know Felix Sandstrom, he played against San Jose, and he looked, for his first game played, he looked really, really good. I liked what I saw there for sure. LA inconsistent. I mean, if you look at their record right now, they're in that win 1, lose 1, win 1, lose 1, win 1, lose 1. So it says they should lose this game, but I'm not sure. I mean, I think the Flyers are a very comparable team. Both these teams play streaky hockey, and the Flyers, I think, have quite a few missing pieces compared to LA. Money line plus 135 or 2.35 for Philly, minus 155 or 1.64 for LA over under, set at 5.5. I got to go with the home favorite here, LA, to win the game. I know according to the loop they're in, they should lose this one, but I like them here. I'm going to pick LA. That's my pick. Best bet. We'll see if we can continue that since the Rangers won here on New Year's Eve. January 1st, Winter Classic. I'm going to pick that game. I'm going to go Minnesota to win the game. I'm going to make it my best bet. That's how good I feel about it. I'm going to do a couple parlays. I'm going to do Boston and Florida. I know it doesn't pay a lot, but I'm pretty confident. So I'm going to parlay those two together. And then I'm going to go the Islanders and Toronto, both to win. I know I'm going to go Ottawa puck line because I think the Toronto-Ottawa game will be a tighter game than people think. And I like Toronto to win, but I like Ottawa on the puck line at plus 1.5. But the Islanders and Toronto, second parlay. Then I'm going to do one over-under, and that's going to be on the Boston-Buffalo game. I'm going to go over 5.5. And those are the bets that I'm going to lay. And again, I'm going to try to, I'm probably going to post something every day after I do a video and just list the actual bets. And I might do something starting tomorrow where I just take a simple $100 and we'll use that $100 and we'll make bets with that $100 and we'll see how we can grow it, or we'll see if it goes to zero, and we'll go from there. Regular picks: LA to win over Philly. I'm going to take Vancouver to beat Seattle. I'm going to take Toronto to beat Ottawa. I'm going to take Minnesota to beat St. Louis. I'm going to take the Islanders to beat Edmonton. I'm going to take Chicago to beat Nashville. I'm going to take Columbus to beat Carolina, and then I'm going to take Florida to beat Montreal, and I'm going to take Boston to beat Buffalo. Happy New Year's to everyone. Again, I hope everyone has a prosperous 2022. Health and prosperity. Good luck with your picks. Happy New Year's. Thanks for watching. Talk soon.